4 days after the team's poor performance in the Champions League, Real Madrid will have the opportunity to turn things around in front of their fans at the Bernabeu. Carlo Ancelotti talks about this and responds to the criticisms directed at Vinicius in the preview of the match Real Madrid versus Celta Vigo.
Tomorrow, Real Madrid receives the visit of a team in desperate need of points. What must Real Madrid do to secure the victory? How important is it to play this match at the Bernabeu?
At this point in the season, all teams need points. Celta needs them, and so do we. All teams are now more involved in their matches than ever because it's a key point in the season. What do we have to do? Well, we have to show a different attitude and intensity. It's quite obvious what we have to do. It's what we want, and we will do it. We didn't play well in the last match in front of our fans, and tomorrow we have to show a different version than before.
Aren't you and your team very worried about the performance in the last few games? What is the result of your analysis of the Champions League match?
After the match against Girona, which I believe has been our best match of the season so far, we have struggled a bit more in the matches and lowered our level of play. This forces us to analyze what we haven't done well and what we need to improve on. And from this point, we need to get better. But to say that we are very worried, of course not. We're not worried, but we analyze the situation with the highest level of criticism possible among ourselves and then work to improve. The analysis of the last match is quite simple and very clear among us. It's as simple as lacking intensity and good attitude. That's all. Tomorrow we have to play with intensity and with a good attitude.
Don't you think the 2-match suspension for Bellingham is exaggerated? Real Madrid has tried to appeal this sanction, arguing that Bellingham did not insult at any time, unlike the referee's statement. Don't you think Spanish referees have put the British player on their blacklist?
Yes, we have appealed the red card because we believe the sanction is exaggerated, since Bellingham did not insult, unlike what was declared in the match report. The competition judges analyzed Bellingham's aggressive approach to the referee and decided. Personally, I hope they don't have him marked on their blacklist. It may be that Bellingham sometimes protests on the field, but so do all players, and many others do it in a more exaggerated way. And that's it. But we insist that the sanction to Bellingham is not correct.
Don't you think something needs to change in Vinicius, or is this just the way he is? A player capable of making incredible plays and scoring great goals, but also a player that gets angry with other players.
The Vinicius issue, I've looked back a bit at football history and statistics, and I didn't find any player who has been pursued like Vinicius is now. And he gets kicked, he gets whistled, he gets insulted, and much more. And what does he do? He scores goals and provides assists. But then they tell me I have to talk to him about his attitude problems. No. I believe it's everyone out there needs to change their attitude towards Vinicius, because it has never happened in my personal football history that a talented football player suffers like Vinicius has suffered and continues to suffer. And people forget, but I don't forget. In Vallecas, they hit him as if it was a karate move to his head, but there was no foul or caution. But now everyone says he should have been given a red card for pushing a Leipzig player. So I think that when someone decides to analyze any situation in football, they have to do it without wearing their team's jersey.
Hugo Aspas has said that resources should be distributed equally for everyone. Do you understand the perspective of smaller teams that believe resources should be distributed equally for everyone? Or do you believe that teams that contribute more to the league and generate more revenue, like Real Madrid does, should receive more?
This is a topic that I don't understand much about, so I have nothing to say. I don't understand Aspas's words.
On the two occasions when you lined up 5 midfielders, the game didn't go well defensively. Is it possible that this team can only play attacking football? Is it possible that the team lacks a bit of maturity in playing based on the previous result only?
No, it's not like that. What happened in the match against Leipzig was a psychological influence. Because the success we've had with this team up to this point in the season is due to the defensive commitment of the players. And despite the multiple injuries and problems we've faced, we've had a positive attitude and collective defensive effort that has allowed us to have many games without conceding goals and win many matches with good results. Having said that, in the tie against Leipzig, we didn't have a single minute of danger of losing. It wasn't in danger for even a single minute.
Do you think it's better for this team to play every 3 days and not rest as much? Although physically, playing every 3 days is not advisable.
Yes, it may be that we have lowered our pace a bit, but the truth is that having fewer games allowed us to recover almost all the players. And also during the international break, we will be able to recover Militao, and the squad will be almost complete. And this is very good for what remains till the end of the season.
Over the last 15 games, Rodrygo has only scored 3 goals. Although you have said that Rodrygo brings much more to the team than just goals. Don't you think a starting forward for Real Madrid should have better goal-scoring statistics? Don't you think Rodrygo needs to improve a bit?
Rodrygo's story here at Real Madrid so far has been a success story. He helped us win the Champions League 2 years ago and has always contributed. Maybe this year he hasn't had continuity in scoring goals, but he has had continuity in his performance and efforts. So I know that when we need his goal, Rodrygo will be there to deliver it.
Brahim Diaz is about to decide whether to play for the national team of Morocco or Spain. Has he asked you for advice on this matter? What is your opinion on this topic?
No, he hasn't. This is a personal matter of Brahim's only. I believe he's still thinking about it, but it's something I haven't discussed with him.
The other day you acknowledged that your team suffers from psychological fatigue. Physical tiredness, which we all know, is recovered by resting. But how does psychological fatigue occur?
Did I say that? I don't know. I'm asking you because I don't remember saying it. Did I really say it? Well, I made a mistake. About tiredness, I think I said about the match, and more. It may be, as often happens in these types of ties, that when having a slight advantage, the players lower their level of focus and intensity. But the truth is that it was evident that the team played with carelessness. We didn't form a defensive block. We didn't risk pressing up. It's not psychological fatigue, but rather being a bit confident because of having an advantage. Honestly, I don't know how to prepare a match in these circumstances, because it has always happened to us. It happened to me with Schalke FC 8 years ago. It happened against Chelsea with even more advantage. Honestly, we have to think about how to solve it. If I tell them, don't think about the advantage we have, then they will only think about that.
Bellingham will not play with the team tomorrow. How does the team's game change with and without Bellingham?
The game changes when we play with Bellingham because he can easily advance into the opponent's area, but defensively it doesn't change much because the work he does will be done by any other player who substitutes him. The difference is that we reach the opponent's area coming from the back. This is what has made a difference playing with Bellingham in La Liga.
Do you plan to make any revolutionary changes tomorrow to motivate the players and thus generate more energy?
Yes, I may make some changes. Wait, I'm thinking about something else. Yes, it's that a great coach who has been here. Coach Toshel used to say, you know it, right? Then I don't have to repeat it. I think more or less the same as him. On Wednesday, I think about changing everything. On Thursday, changing a little less. On Friday, not so much. And on Sunday, nothing. But if I tell you that I'll have to make some changes, it's because we need a bit more freshness.
Checking history, when the positions were reversed and Real Madrid pursued the lead, in Barcelona they were afraid of Real Madrid coming from behind. Do you feel the pressure from Barcelona chasing you from behind? They are winning their matches.
The pressure exists. La Liga is open to some teams, and we are aware of our advantage. But it's an advantage that we can only control by showing our best in every match. Yeah, La Liga is still open, and until the math tells you otherwise, we have to fight every match. We are at a moment when all teams need points. Every match is very complicated to win, just as it was yesterday for Barcelona to win, just as it will be complicated for us tomorrow against Celta.